life of the saint. Okay, what do you care? Why do you care about that? Because it's inspiring. It speaks to your soul. Because the life of the master in itself speaks the teaching of the master, speaks the attitude of the master, speaks the resonance of the master. Now, back to our to-dos. One thing that is very helpful to do is to be ready for the tests that inevitably will come with your master, as you are with your master, or follow their path, their teaching, whatever. Be ready for the test before the test occurs. This can be quite helpful. You know how it is also in your day-to-day life. Sometimes when you get very challenged, very triggered in a certain situation, it's emotional, it's difficult, it's hard to see what is what, how to make a decision. It's just everything is all over the place, all your projections, distortions are everywhere. And then when you actually calm down, and it's an hour later, and you've done your little meditation and breathing, and you went for a walk and you calmed down a little bit, then things seem so much more clear. And isn't it how we sometimes wish that we would have had that clarity in the moment of crisis? Well, it's actually possible to bring clarity to the moment of crisis by anticipating the crisis. Not as in, it's all going to be horrible and I should prepare for the worst case scenario. Not at all that. But much rather to know yourself very well, to be very honest with yourself and understanding, I have this challenge. It comes up often, and it's very likely that at one point that challenge might come up also with my guru. So let me sit with it now. Let me transform it now. Let me understand it now, before it becomes a crisis. Seeing the test before the test occurs doesn't mean to avoid doubts, difficulties, and so forth. They are important. They are important challenges actually along your path. Doubting your guru is actually part of some of the segments of the spiritual path. But you can prepare yourself and you can understand, this is what is going on now. How do I want to decide? What do I want to anchor myself into? The more you prepare yourself, as in understanding what is the eternal thing that you can always rely on, the easier you will pass these tests. If, for example, you know that you will always rely on the love that you have for God, because that's eternal. You feel it burning in your soul, and you will lean on that, and you will sit on that, and no matter what happens, that's what you rely on. Or you rely on that you really wish to not just know your little snippet of truth, and not just the little snippet of truth of that person, but you wish to know ultimate truth. And you are dedicated to that, committed to that. So you will challenge your ego even in front of that anchor point that you have at an eternal level, if you will. One very important point of this preparing for the test before the test is that the relationship with the master is meant to challenge you. If you're not already liberated, once you're liberated, I guess it's not so challenging anymore. Just the two of you just fly through the universe and are happy, fine. But until that point, that's the whole thing. The guru has one job, to liberate you. And he will bother you out of your wits until you are there. Limit by limit by limit, poking, but what about this limit? Okay, now I solved it. What's like that? But what about this one? Okay, but I just had a moment of rest. But what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? He's supposed to do that. It's their job to do like this. No? That's what you hired them for, so to say. So understand that the relationship with the guru is a relationship of wrestling. It is you wrestling with your limits. But the guru is kind enough to allow you to externalize this wrestling and have it with a person, because it becomes more visible. You can get more into it and challenge and question, but why did you say that? What is going on? And then you actually get to see in the form of a person that is very, very mirror-like, and that will show you exactly, you see, and now you did like this, and now you don't. You're there, okay. Yeah? So wrestling with the guru is part of the journey. So don't be shy to wrestle with your guru. One good principle you can keep in mind is, in the moment the master doesn't bother you anymore, you're off the path. Or you're liberated. One of the two. So if the guru doesn't bother you, and you are not completely, utterly free, one with everything and absolutely blissful, you are off the path, is basically the equation. The guru is meant to bother you. It's the everythingness shocking you to see your limitedness. That's what the guru is doing. It's giving you the eternal perspective in front of your little limited box. It's bothersome. It's not easy. It's meant to be like that. If you want to be a disciple, and if you don't want, it's fine. You don't have to be. But if you want to be, this is part of the equation, and you better actively embrace it. Because if you don't actively embrace it, it will become very, very painful. From the do's to the don'ts. One important don't point is don't look to be saved. The guru is not there to save you. He's saving you, or she is saving you. They are saving you. This will happen, don't worry. But it's not that you go and you demand, save me now. This implies also, don't follow the guru for the grace. Don't follow the guru for the good feeling, for the nice feedback, for the attention, for anything, any reason you might have to follow the master that is not the teachings of the master. It will become a stone to stumble upon later on. So check yourself. Do you believe in the master only because they are proving themselves to you? Only because they are giving you something that you like, that you want? You will fall over that later on. Two things are the source of inspiration for a disciple to follow the master: the teachings of the master and the life of the master, the behavior of the master, the way that the master expresses. These two things: what the master says and teaches, and what the master does. If you are interested in those things, great. You are in the right place. The master will give you amply of those. What are we doing here every Thursday, or sometimes Saturday, or whatever? What are we doing here so often? We sit and we talk about the saints, life of the saint. Okay, what do you have to do with that Catholic crazy person who saved, I don't know, a few people here and there and resurrected someone 600 years ago? What do you care? Why do you care about that? Because it's inspiring. It speaks to your soul. Because the life of the master in itself speaks the teaching of the master, speaks the attitude of the master, speaks the resonance of the master. Right? So get interested in the teaching, get interested in the life. Any other thing, cross it out. Very important point. There's this beautiful story which is quite to the point of a master who was teaching and giving the grace and the Shaktipata with a little stick on the head and the blessing and the this and the healing and all sorts of stuff in one village all the time. And all the time, hundreds of people in his place there wanting something. And one young man, he would come every day and sit silently and go home again. And come again and sit silently and go home again and come again. This went on for some time. And after some weeks, the master says, "And what about you, young man? What do you want? What can I give you?" And the young man says very wisely, "Don't worry, master. I was just looking how you are tying your shoes." That's a disciple. He didn't come for something, to have something. He was watching, how is this amazing person who's healing trillions of people, how are they tying their shoes? Watching the life of the master. So this is a very good way to do things. Another to-do from we said, don't follow because of the grace, don't look to be saved. What should you do? Be thirsty for freedom. The guru offers you one thing, liberation. Doesn't offer you absolutely anything else. There are all these beautiful stories where the disciple is asking the master, but master, in order to reach liberation, how should I do? What should I? And he says, well, you should have real aspiration. Okay, but what does it mean, aspiration? And the guru takes the disciple into the boat, they go on the lake, he takes the disciple and dips the head in and holds him under until he nearly faints, drags him back out. He says, what were you thinking when you were under the water? I was thinking air. It's like, yes, when you think about that, about liberation, when you think like that, liberation with such an intensity, then you have the aspiration to actually achieve it. The master will not even stop to upset you in all sorts of ways, take away things, shake up your life and so on, if they believe that this will help you to achieve freedom. So when you want freedom, you will not be upset by the actions of the master. It might be difficult, yes, challenging, sad, all sorts of shaking things. But you will not get into the doubt and into the, I think this person's a bit crazy and so on. No, you will just be like, okay, I want freedom. Whatever I chose, I felt in my heart, whatever this crazy liberated being is telling me to do, I'm going for it. As an example, maybe you remember we also have the a little longer story on the YouTube channel about and by the way, like and subscribe and hit the bell wherever you are and comment and let us know what you think and all the good things. So we have on the YouTube channel this story of Papaji and this great yogi that he met one time in the jungle somewhere on the mountains. And they were both noticing, okay, two great spirits, okay, we are bowing to each other. Who should be the master? Who should be the disciple? How will we find out? They try to figure out, okay, what can you offer me? And Papaji says, yes, you have any amazing things that I would be interested maybe in? And the yogi is like, well, I can levitate. And he shows me he's levitating. I don't remember if that's what it was. Some CD. And Babaji is like, I'm not so interested. Okay, what else? I can make anything appear. And he says, that curry from that region I really like. And he lets the goddess appears, the curry appears, whatever. Oh, yes, it's so tasty, best curry ever. Yeah, but I'm not so interested. I don't need curry. And the third thing, and again, Babaji is like, yeah, it's all very, Papaji, sorry. It's all very interesting, but I don't want to acquire these things. And the yogi says, okay, that's all I can do, and how about you? And he says, I really know nothing, but the only thing that I know is how to give the peace of mind. And the yogi goes on his knees and, my guru, he always said there will come one day one guru and he will give you peace of mind. That was the only thing that I haven't acquired. So it's clear, he bows down, he says, okay, Guruji, give me initiation, what should I do? And the one thing that this yogi had was this magic stick, power stick, that would give him, it had the Shaktipata of his guru inside, it was very precious to him and would give him all these superpowers that he had and so on. So you would wave with his stick there and then the things would happen. And then Papaji said, okay, so you are my disciple now, you will do everything I tell you? Yes, of course, Guruji, what should I do? Give me the stick. He takes the stick, throws it in the river, stick goes down the river, that's it, bye-bye stick. And the yogi sits and has finally peace of mind. Imagine if the yogi was not interested in freedom. You'd be like, what are you doing, crazy fat old man? Why are you throwing my stick away? But turns out it was the most graceful thing that could have ever happened. So be thirsty for freedom and the manifestations of your guru will not disturb you at all. Don'ts. Don't try to stay yourself, as in the limited self. Instead, become your real self, your true self. So in a funny way, you will not remain yourself with the guru, and yet you will completely become yourself. Understand that the whole journey with the guru, with the master, difficult for the Western mind, is not meant to serve anything about who you are now, except for your soul and your spirit. Yeah, it's not meant to be good for your career, give you, I don't know what, charisma, give you a girlfriend, or be kind on the way that you like to communicate, be a non-violent communication and this and that. It's not meant to be that. That doesn't make these things bad, but it's just not what the Guru is meant to be. Instead, the Guru is meant to show you who you are when you are not in the box of definition, when you are shaken out of all these things that you believe you know. That's what the Guru is meant to show you. Again, the disciple eats the Guru. A disciple would want to become completely and utterly as the Guru is. There's even this whole idea, for example, in Christianity, the imitation of Christ. You want to become like the Master. You want to watch them and learn from them and eat them in that way, eat their teachings, the daily bread, right? Eat the teachings, eat the body of Christ in the communion, even very clear, yeah? You're eating that person that died on the cross and you're drinking their blood. It doesn't get more gory than that, right? Why do you do that? To become them, to replace the limited you with the eternal you. And that eternal you is identical with the eternal Master, with the eternal self of the Master, right? So this is the process that is meant to happen. Process of becoming an embodiment of the teachings of the Guru, of the life of the Guru. This is the whole point of the path that follows the grace of the Guru, that allows that extremely quick way of evolution that includes a master. Okay, stay here. We get lots of likes on YouTube because of you, no? Microphones. From this don't try to stay yourself in the limited sense. Let's go for another do. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.